to then try these invades, to try and skirmish early on. And that has been really the signature play style that we've seen from WEV.
Yeah, Ringo also a fantastic farmer, so, you can't always be perfect, you can't always be Druid, so it makes it a bit easier. We are going to see Hunters ban out Ringo. I think that's smart. I think their Scarf,
need to do that.
Scarf ban against Wild was also pretty smart, so we'll see how that works out. WEV going to ban Sky this time, instead of the Arden that was banned last time for Wild, and so Wands is going to pick that up right away.
Yeah, I think I actually, Valdez, preferred that Arden ban that we saw come down, but given Queen's last performance on Arden, where she was using the gauntlet a little bit too liberally, perhaps they feel that that is the better choice, at least for the moment. Vox will be taken. Previously, when they couldn't get Ringo, they took Scarf, so a bit of a change up here. So Vox and Koshka. Finally, the lock-in. We are going to see a Rona, presumably in the lane.
This is the exact composition that, who was it? Gangstars.
Yes.
That they ran in their first game. You throw Adagio in the lane, Queen on the Rona in the jungle. Well, she's not going to be on the Rona, but that Rona in the jungle. We may see Wands play Rona in the lane, but we'll have to wait and see exactly where they want to throw these heroes.
Yeah, when we saw Gangstars run it, they did run the Adagio in the lane, but considering Wands has it locked in right now, that will mean that it's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to get right into our second game of the wild card as Hunters look to stay in the VIPL. Game 2 of the wild card as these teams fight for that last spot in the semifinals. Hunters must win here to stay in it. WEV have a little bit more leeway. And Valdez, you might want to talk more about this composition because it is a very, very good one.
Yeah, it's very, very strong, and I'm not surprised, in fact, that Hunters plays it. They're a team that practices a lot with Gangstars, especially in the VIPL Season 1, so definitely trading some strategies, possibly. It's fantastic because Rona gets so much protection and so much buffing as well, just from that Agent of Wrath, from Adagio. Every single time you attack with your hero, you're going to do a bit of extra damage because of Adagio, and Rona, with that attack speed buff, will be attacking very, very fast. And it's very hard to get away from Rona as well, always going to be jumping into the fray on top of you. You also get a bit of a speed buff from Arden, so even harder to get away from.
Yeah, and it's all about that protection, right? The heals, the barriers coming in on top of that Rona. I like this adaptation. This is not as much of an execution-heavy comp as the last one we saw from Hunters. It doesn't take perfect layering or chaining, rather, of crowd control. Basically, you're just trying to buff up this Rona while she runs into the backline and ults and hits as many people as possible. So this is going to be a little less difficult to run. We do have Sudan's actually taking the lane here. Normally they're jungler. And Wands will be in the jungle on that Rona.
Yeah, and this is the fifth hero, the fifth unique hero that Sudan has played, by the way. He's played Petal, Koshka, Glaive. Then he just played the Celeste in the jungle for that last game, and now he's playing Adagio. So this guy seemingly having a very wide hero pool, and could be something that benefits them a bit later on if they do make it in the semifinals or future seasons.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are actually going to see that same setup that we saw from Gangstars in the end. Having that Rona in the jungle and then the Adagio in the lane. So lots of early shield stacking coming through. They need protection against the Koshka and the Vox. And Leisure actually going with the Book of Eulogies early on. A little bit interesting, but afraid of that harassment from Sudan's. Usually we see that Crystal Bit coming in first from Vox.
Yeah, Adagio can definitely be very annoying in that lane. He's got a very strong attack range in general, and once you can buff him up with Agent of Wrath, going to be doing a lot of poke damage. So you just want to have that sustain to be able to stay in the lane and farm up. We've seen Vox as one of those heroes that definitely needs a lot of farm to become really effective. We've seen that out of Druid a lot of the times, his favorite hero, just farming up to about 3 items, and then he can essentially 1v2 or 1v3 the enemy team. So I like that pickup of the Book of Eulogies, in fact.
Oh, yeah. Of course, you could always take those even trades with a hero like Adagio and heal yourself back up. So winning the trade in the end, going for some early attack speed right here. It's because he does have that auto attack damage buff for himself, so attack speed usually one of the most valuable stats to get on Adagio. We'll see if he transfers into more crystal power. Well, the Eclipse Prism already done, so starting to get that CP so he can buff up this Rona more. But it's about getting Rona into the late game. And double weapon blade, so Wands looks like he probably is going to be going for a Sorrow Blade first.
Oh, looks like it. And I like what they're doing, both of these compositions, both these teams here, rather. Wands left alone to farm in the jungle, as well as Mango. They want to get these two guys up to level 6 as fast as possible.
Interesting, going for a heavy steel early. Usually see a little bit more crystal power onto
Liege.
Onto the Vox, but that is probably a direct response to the number of light shields already purchased by Hunters.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. It also gives you 2 lanes of damage for your team because Koshka's already been going.
Oh, there's an ult coming in. Sudan's going to get the Vanguard speed boost. Queen's getting low. Can Mango finish her up? No, barely. Liege can't get that last auto. Now he's going to take a lot of damage, and he extends just a little bit too far.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Sudan's coming in. Mango's got right back onto this one. Nice twirl. Does trade 1 for 1. Nearly takes out Queen's 2. And Puhet has to back off. 2 kills for Hunters as they turn around that gank.
Yeah, really nicely done. So unfortunate that Liege wasn't able to get that last auto attack down because he was diving really far for that kill. Not sure if it was worth it in the end. Are they going to get the steal? No.
Queen will take it out. It was close, though. Puhet tried to come in at the end, buying time for Liege, but it just wasn't quite enough. And Wands will just leap out and start jungling again, but oh, there we go. Stun goes down onto Sudan's right now. He's only level 5, and he's going to get cleaned up very easily. Mango, who didn't use his ultimate in that last fight, comes back with it and gets a kill.
Yeah, that's really what you want to see out of this Koshka early on. You need to get those yummy catnip frenzies down as soon as possible
me, man.
before the enemy can get those reflex blocks. So now it looks like Juan's trying to stop them from taking the gold mine. He's going to kill. Looks like Puhet there, and Mango getting very low, but they do in the end get the gold mine.
Yeah, uses his boots to get out. Liege just getting a little damage, but Hunters has an opportunity to do a bit of counter jungling right now. Liege getting some nice poke damage down as Queen and Wands a little bit split up. Now they're going to turn on to Liege. There's the ult from Rona, just not quite enough damage.
Yeah, I would have rather seen him actually just use that movement speed and try to get a couple more auto attacks for the kill. But either way, we're going to see this fight go down onto Sudan's, mostly just the death of Sudan's. Level 5, no reflex block, not much you can do there.
Koshka stun into Catherine's stun. What are you going to do, really?
Yeah. I guess the only thing that could have gone better there is perhaps if Queen was near the lane for a Vanguard to possibly keep him alive, but even then he probably would have gone down with the amount of stuns there.
Yeah, interesting that Mango's going for an early Aegis here, considering the amount of weapon power that's already been built by this Hunter's lineup.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. You're mainly going to be taking damage from that Rona, as you are both melee, and you're probably going to be fighting up against each other, but I suppose wants to cut down on the amount of crystal power from Sudan.
And we have another fight here at the gold mine, and Wands is going to get tied up by that ultimate. Nice Adagio ult coming through, gets 2 stuns. That's going to be a kill for Hunters. Gold Miner still fighting on behalf of WEV. That'll be Puhet falling in the end, and Hunters now turning on to the Gold Miner. Leash still alive. A lot of members low on Hunters. They will get the Gold Miner. Not a big payout, but they get 2 kills.
Yeah, Wands isn't finished yet. Wants to get a bit more damage done onto Liege. Going to get him to about half health, and with the support of his allies, is not going to take much himself.
I mean, Serpent Mask start here. Liege just walking forward. Gauntlet will miss. Sonic zooms right out of the ultimate, so that's a very important ult now down for Hunters. And you know what? They may just be able to bounce right back and take this gold miner again.
Yeah, let's take a look at that fight once again. They do jump onto Wands, even the Koshka coming down, but a very nice stun from Sudan. So you see Puhet out of the fight there for a very long time. And just splitting them up, they're able to focus down Mango first and eventually get the kill, and Box is just pushed away.
Yeah, Queen there too. Couldn't quite get the ult at the end. We don't see WEV trying to fight immediately. They still are actually not down that much when it comes to gold. A lot of that is Liege. He has that CS advantage over Sudans right now. It's definitely a big help.
Yeah, it was kind of a funny move by Liege there. I'm not sure if that was 100% on purpose, but it looked like a bait. You know, when he was 1v3 and he didn't have any more minions in the lane for himself, I suppose he was trying to possibly freeze it before it hit the turret, and he just didn't know they were there.
There we go. Do see some damage done by Liege, but you know, this very interesting Vox build. We've never actually in the VIPL seen a full weapon power Vox before.
Yeah, maybe in like Season 1? No, that doesn't really make sense because weapon power wasn't really that strong on Vox back then. Yeah, this may actually be the first time. You may actually be right. But we'll get to see how this is going to work. As I said before, it really mixes up your composition, and it may have been just a pure response to the amount of shields that Hunters was building.
I think it was.
Just because Crystal Power Vox is generally a much better choice. You get so much burst damage down. It's great for bursting down Rona before he can really use that lifesteal to stay alive. Stuff like that.
And there's another pick. Sudans is going to get stunned up immediately, and he's going to fall. And there's Wands, but they don't have Queen there for this fight, so Wands getting some damage down. There's the Rona ultimate coming through, and they're going to lock everyone in there, but I don't know how effective that's going to be. Another stun onto Queens. Most of the damage had already been done. Hunter's just getting picked off. They aren't in the right spot on the map, and WEV pulls off an ace.
Yeah, they get that ace, and that's going to be fantastic for getting the gold miner here and even doing a bit of damage to this turret.
Yeah, that was actually a close call on the respawn. Sudans was nearly back up, but they are going to go ahead and take out the gold miner, getting a couple hundred gold per player and coming out with a lead after that last fight.
Yeah, really fantastic fight there for WEV. They get the pick onto Sudans, I believe it was. Very early, he goes down very fast. Pretty much no effectiveness in this fight. You lose all that utility for the Rona later on.
Yeah, Sudans did use his reflex block right there, but the damage just far too much at this point in the game. And Queens throws the gauntlet, but it doesn't actually hit anybody with the stun, and WV's more than happy to just all in on this fight 3v2.
That's not the time to trap everybody in. You're trying to separate the enemy teams and maybe even try to save Wands there by getting one of these stuns. So maybe you could get one kill and then there's less damage coming out, possibly lifesteal up with another red mist. You know, just buy him some time. But definitely a kind of missed gauntlet there.
Yeah, Wad's actually going for that Serpent Mask first, so looking for a bit of that life steal, in addition to the heavy steal. Different kind of steal, though. I just have to explain, you know.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Some people could get confused. That's right.
Heavy steal sounds like a great heist movie.
Heavy steel? That doesn't really make sense. Sounds like a terrible heist movie, in fact.
If you're stealing something that weighs a lot, has a lot of
you're going
mass
for a
to
heavy
it,
steel.
You're going for the heavy steel. Gold isn't light, you know.
Maybe if you're stealing a safe or something like that. Yeah.
At least we have the our new screenplay locked down. Great idea.
No. It's your next move, Monty. After owning a team, you become a screenwriter or a screenplay writer, whatever they call that.
I'll be a screenwriter. I'll write heavy steel. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Inspired by Vainglory. A bit of a turret push here. They're just going to get that undefended as Hunters walks down to the jungle. So free turret take there from WEV. Hunters not even making a show of a defense. And we see Liege just trying to get a few auto attacks down, but not doing a whole hell of a lot of damage. Does have the breaking point now. There's the ultimate coming in, but Sudo's going to reflex block that goal, and we see the gauntlet fall. They're all trying to get out right now. More reflex blocks from WEV. Liege still relatively undamaged. Hunter's really not doing much. Mango comes back in with a pounce. Gonna hit Queens right away, and Wands only hitting one right there with the Rona ultimate. Tries to turn back around onto Liege, but this is going to be another ace for WEV, as they are just absolutely dominating. Hunter's really looking like they don't have the best synergy today.
Yeah, and even though that fight looked better than the last one, no one on the opposite team on Hunters has any armor. So Vox is in the back
With a
life
breaking
stealing
point.
away and a breaking point. He's doing way too much damage. The splits out of WEV as well to get away from Rona and make that red mist so much less effective was fantastic as well. It's really just about the items that Hunters is not building, that they do not have this armor to deal with Liege on this weapon power Vox, and just the team fighting in general.
Now there's into the fray. Liege going to Sonic Zoom right out. They want to go after this. Wands has that Vanguard. They're going to take one kill. Ult down onto Sudans, though, from the Koshka. But now they have the shield, and the armor isn't needed. They're still fighting around this gold miner. Minion Candy is down. Let's see if Mango wants to come back in. Bit of a desperate attempt. They're trying to get Queen. Mango still running around the outside. This gold miner is doing a huge amount of damage, and Mango's making it work. No more energy, though, so they can't really continue this fight, and Wands is the only one left from Hunters, putting more gold in WEV's pockets.
Yeah, after all, it's just the Minion Candy fed gold mine that ends up doing a ton of damage. Mango just weaving in and out and not taking too much and allowing that gold mine to do that damage. Lee's kind of getting caught out here a little bit too much. Goes down very, very fast. And Sudans does go down quite fast as well, but Mango already with very low energy, very low health, and kind of just has to run away and kite in and out. They do a very good job of keeping this gold mine and even getting a kill out of it, though.
Well, right there, too, Mango came back in onto Queen, so Wands tried to get on top of Mango, but the pounce right onto Queen means that a lot of Wands' damage was actually wasted right there, not anticipating that Mango would just dodge out and away from the Rona.
Yeah.
So
Also,
I think that was a bit sloppy to just go in like that. You got to stick by. You have to stick together, otherwise that Koshka is just going to pick you apart.
yeah, it's very true. And also a very nice stun out of Puhet. I think that's why we're getting a little zoom in and a slowdown during that replay, just to keep Wands at bay and not doing that damage. One of the most important things when you are fighting against Arona is just crowd controlling her, making sure that she's not doing that damage and not life stealing to stay alive.
Well, with the Shatter Glass, too, on this Adagio, it's pretty much all in. Flat crystal power, so they want to use that heal to buff up this Rona. And Rona, if you kill her, there's not much left for this composition.
Yeah. I also see a chronograph picked up at this point, trying to get some more cooldown acceleration. Oh, but look at this. WEV going to go for the turrets. Where is Hunters? Free turret given over to WEV. Just a very nice play. Nice map awareness from WEV.
I mean, Hunters just looks quite uncoordinated today. WEV going to turn around and see if they decide to make a play. Oh, they're going to take a nice scout trap hit right there. So nobody looking for that Kraken quite yet. Not going to take that risk when Hunters is at full HP. They do clear out the tribe rush of scout traps, though, so going to set a little bit of a trap of their own.
Yeah, they've got a ton of map control at this point. No scout traps around the Kraken for Hunters. They have no idea if it's going down. They're just going to have to tentatively...
Warhorn is popped. Gauntlet used immediately, but it got canceled in the end. Sudan's trying to get an ult, but it's not going to work. He is taken down nearly immediately, and Hunters is just going to fall. The Gauntlet didn't go through in the end, and that proved to be Hunter's undoing, and WEV with another ace looks like they're going to take a quick game.
Yeah, fantastic engage there from Puhet as well. Getting the stun onto the Gauntlet, onto Arden, as you said. Denying that. It looked like that was going to be one of the first well-placed Gauntlets as well in this game, but it just does not come through.